He walked in 3 days ahead of schedule, expecting the usual quiet. But instead, the billionaire froze in his tracks. There, in his kitchen, stood his maid, but not as he had ever seen her before. 2 babies strapped to her chest, their tiny faces scared and confused, their mother nowhere to be found, their father absent. For 3 days she had been on her own, with no one else to turn to. Anger burned through him, his first instinct telling him to fire her. But what happened next? It would change everything. Before we dive in, take a moment to tell us where you're watching from and what time it is in your part of the world. Also, don't forget to strike that like and subscribe button. The door clicked shut behind him. Marcus tugged at his tie as he walked through, still crisp in his sharp blue suit from the business trip. He had come home early, tired of the endless boardroom debates, the fake smiles. He just wanted peace and his own space. But then, from the kitchen, he heard it. The soft sounds of children's voices. His face tightened. He didn't have kids, and he sure as hell didn't want any running around his house. His pace quickened, footsteps echoing on the polished floor as he marched toward the kitchen. What he saw there stopped him dead in his tracks, only to be replaced by a wave of furious disbelief. Erica, his maid, was there, blue uniform, yellow gloves, wiping the counter. But there was something new. 2 toddlers, pale-haired, wide-eyed, strapped to her chest in a gray sling, clinging to her like she was their last hope. "What is this?" His voice thundered through the room. Erica froze, slowly turning her head. Her expression was exhausted but steady, like she had braced herself for this moment. "Sir, you weren't supposed to be back yet." He barely held back his rage. "And that's your first reaction? No explanation?" He could feel the heat of his anger rising. "You've turned my house into a daycare. And you think I'll just stand here quietly? Who are they? Why are they here?" The toddlers shifted uncomfortably at his outburst, and Erica instinctively began to rock them, whispering something soothing in Spanish. But she didn't stop cleaning. She didn't break her gaze. "They're my sister's children," she said, her voice steady but strained under his fury. Marcus blinked, stunned, for a moment before a bitter laugh escaped him. "So what? They're yours now. Since when do I pay you to bring children into my home? This is unacceptable." "They're not usually here," Erica quickly responded, her voice tight. "Only for the past 3 days. And that makes it better?" he spat. The tension in the air was palpable, and Marcus stood there, still fuming, yet something in the pit of his stomach twisted. The scene in front of him, the desperate hope in Erica's eyes, made his anger waver for just a moment. But what would happen next? Neither of them could have predicted it. He advanced, his figure looming over her. 3 days of disobedience. 3 days of deception. "Do you realize how serious this is?" Erica stood her ground, clutching the babies tightly. Their mother is dead. Their father is gone. They have no one else but me and my mother. She's raised them since the funeral, but she's too old now. Last week she fell. Her body can't handle both of them anymore. So I brought them here. I had no choice. Marcus's lip curled in disdain. "Not my problem. You should have figured something else out. A neighbor, a shelter, anything. But this? You can't bring children into my home without asking." Her eyes flashed, but her voice remained steady. "A shelter?" She almost laughed, but it came out as a choked sound. "Do you know what happens to babies in places like that? They vanish into a system that doesn't care. My mother begged me not to," she said. "Keep them close, don't let strangers take them. So I brought them here hoping maybe you wouldn't notice. You thought wrong." Marcus's voice was razor sharp. "You've been working for me, hiding 2 extra mouths to feed. Do you know what that does to my image?" Her voice wavered, cracking for the first time. "You're worried about your image while I'm fighting to keep them alive. Sir, with all due respect, that's a luxury I can't afford." Marcus slammed his hand on the counter, causing one of the babies to whimper. His voice dropped, cold and controlled. "Don't try to turn this on me. You broke my trust. You lied to me." Erica's breath quickened, but she stood firm. She adjusted the babies, their faces still pressed to her chest. Yes, I broke your trust. But I didn't break my promise to my sister. When she was dying, I told her I would protect them. So if you want to fire me, then fire me. But I won't abandon them. The words sliced through the air, sharp and unforgiving. Marcus glared at her, rage bubbling within him. Every part of him wanted to fire her right there to remind her who was in charge. But something about the way she held the babies, not as an employee but as a woman trapped by circumstance, made the atmosphere thick and suffocating. He took a step back, his jaw clenched tight. 3 days or not, this cannot go on. You've crossed a line. Her lips quivered, but her gaze remained steady. I know. But sometimes, survival means crossing boundaries. You've never had to choose between your job and your family. I have, and I chose them. The baby's soft cries echoed in the room, striking at Marcus's resolve. His palms pressed against the counter, his breath ragged as his eyes remained fixed on Erica. She didn't flinch. For a maid, she stood her ground with more defiance than most men he'd ever met. You think I'm just going to let this slide? His voice was low, deliberate, each word laced with cold intent. You think I built all of this by letting people break the rules? No, Erica replied, her voice calm though her throat betrayed her tension. I think you built it by making choices when others wouldn't. And this is my choice, Marcus shot back, his voice steely. I won't abandon them. Marcus's frustration flashed across his face, a storm behind his eyes. He wanted to snap back, to throw her words right back at her. But instead, his gaze fell on the children. One tiny hand had slipped free from the sling, fingers reaching aimlessly in the air, as though grasping for anything. You've lied to me, Erica, he said, his tone icy. I didn't lie, she replied quietly. I hid them. And yes, that's betrayal. She paused, her voice thickening. But it was only 3 days, sir. Just 3. Before that, my mother did everything. She fed them, held them, prayed over them. But her body is breaking down. You know what time does to you. I couldn't leave her to crumble under the weight of 2 babies. Her voice faltered on the last words. Marcus noticed, and it hit him harder than her defiance ever could. He rubbed his jaw, taking a step back. So what now? His voice was sharp. You expect me to run a mansion while you juggle family problems? Carrying babies while you clean my counters? I expect nothing, she said firmly. I expect you to do what you want. Fire me, replace me, erase me from this house. But at least I'll leave with my dignity intact. Her words landed with a force that caught him off guard. He hadn't expected that. Marcus's gaze locked onto her, something shifting behind his cold eyes. He wasn't accustomed to being confronted like this, especially not in his own home. One of the babies let out a soft whimper, filling the silence. Erica gently rocked them, her voice a soothing whisper. Tranquilo, Corinho. She kept her body still, her eyes never leaving his, waiting for his response. Marcus exhaled, his hands unclenching. He no longer saw just a maid in front of him. He saw a woman weighed down by grief, poverty, and responsibility, fighting battles on every side. And yet, despite it all, she stood there, still working, still caring more than anyone should. You should have told me from the start, he said, his voice steady. I know, Erica replied, her eyes glistening. I was afraid. Afraid you'd think I was weak. Afraid you'd throw me out. I couldn't risk losing everything in one moment. And yet here we are, Marcus muttered. She braced herself, preparing for what was next. If you want me gone, say it. I'll pack tonight. The words slipped out before he could stop them. I'm not firing you. Erica blinked in surprise. What? You heard me. His tone softened, though still firm. You made a mistake. A big one, she agreed. But I've seen men with fortunes who wouldn't lift a finger for anyone but themselves. And yet, you carry 2 babies while cleaning my house. That kind of loyalty, that kind of strength. I can't just throw it away. Her eyes glistened with tears, though she held her chin high. So what happens now? Marcus's gaze flickered back to the babies. Their wide, innocent eyes followed him, a silent plea. For the first time in years, something stirred within him, something undeniably human. Now, he said slowly, we set boundaries. They don't come here unless I allow it. But I'll make sure your mother gets the help she needs. Real help. Doctors, medications, even a nurse if necessary. He paused, eyes lingering on the children. And as for them, his voice softened. I'll see what can be done. No shelters. No system that swallows them whole. Erica's mouth fell open in disbelief. You would do that? He gave a sharp nod. Not for them. For you. Because you've shown me something most people never do, that some promises are worth breaking rules for. Her knees buckled, but she gripped the sling tighter, steadying herself. Thank you, sir, she whispered, her voice shaky. Marcus turned, his face unreadable. But the hard edge in his posture had softened, replaced by something deeper, a sense of responsibility he never anticipated. As Marcus left the kitchen, Erica collapsed against the counter, tears finally breaking free. The babies nestled closer, their soft, warm breaths against her chest. She pressed her lips to their tiny heads, whispering, "We're safe, little hope. For now we're safe." In the stillness that followed, the sound of the billionaire's footsteps echoed down the hallway. Though he would never speak the thought aloud, it lingered in the back of his mind. Sometimes true wealth isn't measured in money, but in the lives you choose not to turn away from. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories of struggle, survival, and hope. Let us know in the comments, what would you have done if you were in his shoes?